Aloha! It's your boy Neglected Gundam. I hope you didn't feel too neglected without me. Now today is a day I've been waiting for a long time. We are going to be looking at the Perfect Grade Exia, and that is the Clear expansion part set. And without further ado, let's get started.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath.
So as you can see in front of us, we do have the Clear Exia, and that has been painted in the Trans Am colors. Now Bandai never made a Trans Am color Clear Exia, so I went ahead and painted this. I am very happy with the way that this Gundam came out. Now I was a little nervous before I painted the clear pink. I didn't know exactly what color I was going to use or how I was going to accomplish it, so in this video today I will go over my thought process and also my color theory. But I am going to start this video off a little bit different than my other videos. The other day on Facebook I actually posted pictures of the completed project of this Exia, and since then I've been getting comments about it, and there have been a couple questions. So today I'm going to take some questions from social media, Facebook and Instagram, and I'm going to go ahead and answer those questions. They mainly are questions about how I built this Gundam. Over on Facebook, Ryan MC asks, "What paint do you use?" And also he goes on to say, "Looks awesome, and I have a clear high-grade Trans Am that I may want to paint." Okay, now that question actually blends into a question that I was asked over on Instagram. Tyler asks, "Curious how much Tamiya acrylic paint it took for both builds. They came out awesome." And now Tyler is referring to the other Perfect Grade Exia that I made. If you're not familiar, I did make a normally painted Exia, and I will go over that answer as well. Now I'm going to go back over to Facebook where a gentleman named Livyou, he comments and asks, "Phenomenal work, 100. For the clear pink, what kind of paint layering do you use? Is it a clear paint plus gloss top coat? The result looks super clean." So thanks for your questions, guys. I will go ahead and answer all of those questions in the video, and then there are other discussion points I'm going to talk about as well. Okay, first question. So what type of paints do I use? And that's a good question, Ryan. So for the main body of the Gundams, I normally just stick with Tamiya acrylic, and I've been doing that for years. However, this project pushed me into a little bit of lacquer paints, and I'm really happy that I did. The reason I normally use acrylics is because when I lived in Hawaii, my bed was about 5 feet away from where my spray booth was. So that's why I used acrylic paints back then. I didn't want to deal with lacquers and the harmful fumes that it causes. But with this project, since my art studio is now separated from my personal bedroom, I'm able to use lacquers, and I'm glad that I did. So in order to choose the colors that I wanted, I had to have a clear color theory in my mind, and also the thought process behind how I was going to choose the colors. So for the clear pieces, I knew I wanted a clear pink. The only way I could find that was in lacquer paints, so I chose a Mr. Clear Color GX105. The thought process for this kit was to lay the first colors down on the clear pieces because I had no idea how it was going to respond to the clear pieces. Once I had the clear pieces done, I could move on to the inner frame, and so I broke down the inner frame in my mind into 3 parts. There's the inner frame, then there is the outer inner frame that some of the armor pieces attach to, and then you attach that to the inner frame, and then there is the inner frame that builds up the weapons. So in my mind I had those 3 distinct inner frames to paint. So for the inner frame I actually used a mix of clear red and gunmetal, and that comes from Tamiya acrylic. So there was more clear red and then just a little bit of gunmetal just to give it a solidarity and then also that metallic shine. I really like how the armor sits on the inner frame. Because the inner frame is so dark and those pieces of armor are clear, you can really see how the light bounces off all the angles at the edges of the armor. It's really cool. Okay, the outer inner frame and then also the weapons inner frame. Based on where those parts sat on the Gundam, I went ahead and split them up and painted them either a metallic pink or a flat metallic pink. For the metallic pink, I used a lot of clear red and added a little flat aluminum. And then for the flat metallic pink, I used a lot of clear red, a little bit of flat aluminum, and then just a very little bit of pink. Then there are the orange pieces that you see. Now, on the actual model itself, they are not clear. I wish that it was dark clear for those pieces, but it actually comes in gray, so you have to paint those in a solid color. So I tried to do a candy red paint job for that, and I did chrome silver as a base, and then I went over that with clear red. However, it came out orange, and I actually like that, so I kept it. And then the last color that I had to choose was for the sword and the two blades. So what I did was a primer of Satin Canyon Black, and then I put Alclad 2 lacquer, chrome, on top of that. And I chose satin because I didn't want it to be gloss, I didn't want it to be too shiny. After that was laid down, I put on a clear red, and again that turned it kind of orange, and I really liked that look, so I kept it. And then lastly I painted the base, and I painted that in the primer, Satin Canyon Black. Inside the grooves I put the Alclad 2 chrome, and then on top of that I put the clear pink. Now on to Tyler's question about how much paint do I use. So I used the clear pink, and that comes in 18 milliliter bottles. I bought 3 of those bottles, I used 2, and then I got about halfway through the third one. For the chrome, I used that on 2 projects, and that would be the sword and the blades for both style Exias that I did. I bought 2 bottles of chrome. Those are 1 fluid ounce each. I used 1 bottle fully, and then I used about a quarter of the second bottle. The Tamiya bottles that I buy are the bigger of the 2 options, that is the 23 milliliters. Now for all my projects, I do use a lot of gunmetal. It is going to be incorporated into all of my frames somehow. So for these 2 projects, I went ahead and used a full bottle of gunmetal. The next color that I use the most of is white. For the white for the Exia project, I used about 3/4 of that bottle. Now I did use the clear red, and I probably used about 15% of that clear red bottle. And then for the other Exia project that I did, I don't use that much blue, red, or yellow. For the blue, I probably used about 10% of that bottle, the red, 5% of that bottle, and then for the yellow, I really only use drops of the yellow. So I hope that helped, because I know that you do need to buy the Gundams, and you also need to buy the paint, and it gets pretty expensive. So it is a good question to have answered. So on to Lee Vu's question, and he asks, did you layer the pink and then put a clear gloss top coat on top of that? And the short answer to that is yes. But I'm going to go ahead and go into the technical aspect of this build, so let's go ahead and see how I did it. Okay, so for this suit, I actually did this a little different than my other projects. I went ahead and put the decals on the bare plastic first because I knew it was going to get that clear paint job, and I didn't want the white to be too white on most of the kit, so I wanted that clear pink to blend in. So for the decals, I used a third party, and it comes from Flaming Snow Studio. I believe it comes from China, and I really like these decals. They work quite well. So directly on top of the decals, I sprayed the clear pink. So basically, I didn't want to hover in one space too long or try to fill the crevices too much in all the pieces. So I just focused on the top of the piece, and I started off the edge and sprayed over. I did about 4 passes, waited about an hour for it to dry, and then did another 4 passes. And that's all that I did for the clear pink. And I did that color on the clear pieces, the clear red, the clear blue, the clear yellow, the clear green, and then also the clear blue that transfers light throughout the model kit. And then also, I forget about this too, but the base. I did the base with clear pink as well. After the paint layer, I went ahead and did the top coat. So for my top coat, I use Pledge Revive It, and that's just a regular floor gloss. So as a modeler, I found that answer to my question of what top coat I should use a long time ago, and I have been using just regular floor polish for my top coat for a very long time. It's a nice acrylic and it works quite well. So for that layer of top coat, I do about 2 passes, wait about an hour, and do another 2 passes on every piece. And then after that top coat was dried, I went ahead and moved on to panel lining. So for this entire Gundam model, I used black panel lining, and then for the base, I used gray panel line. Basically for the base and the frame, I mixed those with enamel paint. So I did my regular enamel paint panel liner, but for the armor pieces, specifically the clear ones, I wanted to go ahead and make sure that there was no run of the paint at all, so I actually did that by hand with Gundam markers, or more specifically the Sakura Micron. And that's going to be the 005 for the regular pieces, and the 003 just for the really small panel line pieces. It does take a little bit more control when you use the pens. However, I find that during this stage of the project, if you make a mistake, you can just wipe that mistake away with your thumb. I really appreciate using the pens, especially when you want the lines to be tight and clean, because I find that enamel wash panel line, sometimes it can come out of like the grooves and the crevices, and it just gets everywhere sometimes, and then it can change the color of the piece. So I just wanted to keep those lines tight and clean. And then after the panel line, I just gave it one more top coat. So again, 2 passes, wait an hour, and another 2 passes, and then all the pieces were done. So now it's time to move on to just things I want to talk about for this project. Alright, so for anyone that's curious about the light system, I'm going to go ahead and cycle through it, and we can take a look at it. One press is going to be the chest, the forehead, and the GN drive in the back. Second press will be just regular on lighted mode. Third press will be him getting ready for Trans Am. Fourth press will be Trans Am. And the fifth press looks like it turns it off, but it actually is cycling through the whole system. Now I went ahead and cut this video, made this abbreviated, so you can just skip past it all and watch him turn his lights on. Okay, one question I get all the time, and I just want to put this to rest. If you guys watch this, you'll know. So watch this. I'm going to put him on, start him up, get him in Trans Am. We're going to start this timer, and we're going to watch what happens when it gets to a certain time and his lights go out. We're all going to find out right now. It has to be 15 minutes. It has to be. Come on. Wait, it's longer than 15 minutes? What? Okay, finally, at the 17:30 minute mark, it turns off. That's such a strange number for it to turn off at. I don't know why it's 17:30, but now we all know. Okay, one very cool aspect about this kit is these weapons. So first things first, we have this awesome sword slash shield slash gun. It is so cool. And this is one set of decals that I wanted to keep white as well. I really like how it came out. But I love this weapon. It's so cool. Next we have the shield. The shield is really cool. Love it. I went ahead and kept it open because it can close like that. I like to keep mine open. Probably not lore, but I just like to think that the GN particles are getting dispersed through that. And then for this kit here, I'm going to move this out of the way. It's kind of cool. You can see through the blades. It's really cool. However, it does have this green piece in there. And the green piece really takes away from the weapons. However, I have gotten used to it, so it doesn't bother me anymore. I think it gives the weapons personality. It is really cool how you can see through it. You get this blade that just kind of floats on the outside, and the center is clear. I like that a lot. Very cool. Okay, so what type of hands do we have? We have the fixed expressive hands, the fixed beam saber holding hands. This could also hold the beam sabers as well. We have a fixed fist here, and the exact same for the other side. Last but not least, we have little tiny Setsuna FCA. If you see my other talk story about the normal Exia, you have seen that I've painted this guy before. I painted 2 of them in the exact same way. I figured I would not put him in the Trans Am outfit because there is no Trans Am outfit. This outfit does not change colors, so this is the color that he is. Now this brings me into the topic of colors that I would have done a little bit differently if I was going to do this project again in the future, or if you guys are going to do this project in the future. This is something you can look out for. You have this green piece in here, you guessed it. I probably would have left the outside of this that you actually can peek through the armor. I would have left that green. And then for the main green, I would have just painted that a metallic pink. So, or if you're not doing, a Trans Am paint job for your kit, if you're just doing the Clear Exia, you can go ahead and paint that a metallic, just so you don't see that green, because it is a little weird to have this green inside the weapon there. Same concept with the shield, because we do have the green here, and if I would have known that would have been shown like that, I would have painted that the metallic pink. These 2 things would have been metallic pink along with that, and then you can't see anything on this side. So if I would have known that you could see those pieces, I would have done that. Now let me bring this up. I would have painted metallic behind his face mask. That way the pink of the face mask there is not lost in the red that's behind it, because that red is for the chin piece, and it just makes it look like it doesn't even have the faceplate on. I would have painted that red piece metallic pink, so you would have seen that faceplate a little easier. So those are just things that if you are going to paint your Clear Exia, be aware of that. Whatever color scheme you go with, I would highly recommend changing the color of those parts. Okay, well that pretty much wraps up the talk story for the Perfect Grade Exia. I just want to say thank you for watching the video today. If you did like it, go ahead and press that like button. If you want to subscribe for more content, go ahead, because we are going to be doing a lot more builds in the future. And if you want to comment about this video, go ahead and comment, because I'll actually comment back to you. And now that the Perfect Grade Exia is complete, my very next project will be the Goof Custom and Easy 8, so I cannot wait to go ahead and go full steam ahead with that project. I can't wait until Tyler gets to see the Gundam that I'm making for him. I think he's going to love it. And I just want to say, I hope you have a great day, I hope you have a great week, and until next time, I hope you don't feel that neglected now.
Feel alive, find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life.